Hey everyone, my name is Peyton and I am getting into some beauty content today on my YouTube channel. This is my first time doing a beauty video on this channel. I've started doing beauty content on my TikTok though, and I felt it was just right to start doing it here. But today we are going to learn how to do a strawberry sun-kissed makeup look. As you can see, I absolutely love this look. This is one of my favorite looks for the summer. So definitely like and subscribe this video and let's get into it, guys. I'm really excited to share this strawberry look with you guys. I thoroughly enjoy doing my makeup, so I thought I would start sharing it here with you guys as well. Now, when I'm doing makeup, I personally like to start with my eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little bit of concealer on my eyes to act as a primer, and then we're gonna get into some eyeshadow. Now, another thing I learned, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is gonna be the shade 12B Fair Beige. What I learned from another makeup artist is to actually put it on your hand before applying it to your face so that you have more control over it. Now, a little with this Tarte Shape Tape Concealer goes a long way. You do not need a lot at all. And I just blend it in with my brush. Okay, now that my eyes are all set and primed, I'm gonna go in with this Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Palette in Pillow Talk. Look how gorgeous these colors are. I am obsessed with this palette. I actually used this palette for my wedding day. Okay, to start, I am going to go in with this pink shade. And I'm pretty much just taking like a thick little brush and just putting it a little everywhere. This isn't gonna be a super sophisticated makeup look, so it's okay if you get the eyeshadow a little out of place. Okay, just to enhance it a little bit, I'm gonna go in with this, and I'm gonna do that like in the corner of my eyes and bring it out a little bit, and then in my crease, just a little bit. It's already looking snatched. Now, if it starts to look messy, don't worry. You just have to trust the process. I've had to tell myself that so many times. You just gotta trust the process and trust that you can clean it up. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of this sparkly pink shade and put it like in the middle of my eye. I just take my finger, do a light little dab, and then you're gonna wanna put it like in the center of your eye to really highlight that and make it pop.
Music licensing reimagined.
Just to add a little bit more shimmer, I'm going to take this shade and put it in the corner of my eye. So I'm just going to take a little brush, again, a little goes a long way, and just put it in the corner of my eye.
Artlist.io.
My eyes are already looking sparkly. Now I'm gonna save this for later because I'm gonna do my under eye after I do my face. Now this part is optional, but I wanna add just a little more oomph to my eyes. So I am going to take this e.l.f. palette and I Love You a Latte, and I am going to take the dark shade, the darkest shade that they have right here, and I'm going to do just a tiny wing. A little goes a long way, my friends. I've always hated doing eyeliner because I have a little bit of like hooded eyes. So eyeliner can be a little bit difficult for me sometimes. All right, eyeliner is done, but I really just did it with my eyeshadow. You can choose to use a liquid eyeliner or an eyeliner pencil, but I find using eyeshadow sometimes does the trick just as well. Okay, because the strawberry makeup look is a little bit more simple, but it has a lot of pinks and reds in it, this is pretty much all that I'm gonna be doing with my eyes until later on I will put some mascara on and do a little bit of eyeshadow under my eyes, but now I wanna move on to my face makeup. And for a more natural look, I'm actually going to do an underpainting technique, which is where I put my concealer and contour and stuff on before my foundation. Okay, so I am taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer again, and again I applied it on my hand and took my brush and then applied it on my face. And all I do is put just a little bit here and a little bit in the corner of my eyes, and then I might also take some and put it right here just to add a little highlight around my nose. Might need to get a little bit more. Sometimes I'll put it around the corner of my lips, and then you just blend it all in. And like I said, if you're using Tarte Shape Tape, a little goes so far, guys. She is very thick. So if you try to put a whole bunch on your face, it's gonna be very hard to blend out. Okay, to blend the concealer in, I'm going to take a sponge. I love the ones that are shaped like this. This is a Real Technique sponge, and I just press it in. I don't try to move it. I just press it in to make sure it is well blended, and again, make sure the sponge is wet. So just press that all in. Okay, I used to have this a long time ago, and I recently repurchased it, and I'm so glad that I did, but it is the NYX Wonder Stick that has a contour and highlight in one. I love this stuff right here. It is so easy, and this is going to be the fair shade, because with contour you don't want it to be really warm, at least depending on your skin tone, but with my skin tone I don't want the contour to be super warm and give it like more of an orangey look. This is like the shade my contour is. As you can see, it's not super warm. And because with contour, you're wanting to shape your face instead of bronze your face. Okay, I already started on my jawline and on my head, on my forehead, and I'm gonna go ahead and just take it from my ear down, do the other side, and then I'm also gonna do a little bit on my nose, my jawline, and I'm even gonna do just a little under my lips as well. And sometimes I even like to take just a little right here by my eyebrow line to just give me that more snatched look, because I do have a rounder face. And then you can either take a brush or a sponge, but I'm gonna use the sponge. And again, you are just going to press that in. You do not wanna move it around a lot because you are contouring. So you just want to try to really keep that in place. And what I love again about the NYX formula, it is so easily blendable. It's so beginner friendly. Like, look how seamlessly that is blending into my skin. It can be really tempting to try to like drag it out and put it in other places, but again, you really want it to stay in place. Now I will say with my jawline, I do take it down my neck to try to blend it into my neck. And I will also do that with bronzer in a minute. So I will say with your jawline, if you want to, bring it down to your neck to really just blend that all in, because I feel like sometimes people make the mistake of they do their whole face and they forget to like get behind their ears and down their neck. So then their face is one color and their neck is a completely different color. And that is not what we want to do here today. And I'm just really careful around the nose. And then for what I put under my lips, I just take my fingers and just gently blend that in. Okay, next we're going in with our blush and lip tint. So I love using this bin tint right here. I have had this for years and I am obsessed with it. It is so easy to use and it's so lightweight. This is the rose tinted lip and cheek stain. I'm obsessed with it. All right, so I just put a little bit right here, and then I'm putting some more right there, and I'm actually gonna do a little bit on my forehead as well, a dab on my nose, and then I'm gonna take it on my lips and go ahead and give my lips a little lip tint. Look how rosy that already is. I love this stuff. Okay, now you're gonna think I'm a little bit crazy. I like to blend this in with my hands, but you are more than welcome to use a sponge or a brush. But I literally, just because this formula is so lightweight, I just literally take my fingers and blend it in. Now I do the blush a bit higher up on my face because, as I said earlier, I have a round face, and so I try to bring everything up to not give my face such a circular shape. And sometimes I'll even just go like this to have a little bit of a sun-kissed look. Just blending in. Do some on my jaw. Look how strawberry sun-kissed this is already looking. Okay, now like I said, we did the underpainting technique. So that is, we just did the contour, blush, and concealer before we do the foundation. Now I'm taking this Giorgio Armani foundation. This is the shade 5. I love this. I believe this is a water-based foundation, and it is super lightweight, so it's very easy. I actually also used this on my wedding day. It's just, I love it so much. And we're only gonna use just a little bit of foundation because we still want that natural sun-kissed strawberry look. Now again, I am putting it on my hand to have a little bit more control. Okay, I started to dab it in. I'm just taking a brush and just dabbing it pretty much all over my face. I'm not gonna do under my eyes though, because if I go over that with a little bit too much foundation, it'll start to look cakey. And we do not want that. No, we don't, queens. The under eye can be very tricky because if you start to do too much product under it, it very quickly will start to get super cakey. Again, we just want to take a little bit onto our neck. And I even like to do a little bit on my ear and behind my ear because we want everything to be the same color. All right, I just put all my foundation on. Now again, I'm gonna go in with the sponge and make sure everything is just blended in. We don't want any streaks, we don't want any cake. We love cake in the back, but we don't like cake on the face. Perfect. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and go in with this Charlotte Tilbury setting spray just to set all of the liquids on my face and all the creams on my face. Now let that dry for a second. Okay, I started going in. I have this Tarte Cosmetics setting powder in the shade Pink. I love the pink shade because it really just brightens your under eye and everything. And I'm just using the little thing that came with it, but I just take a little bit. And then the trick here, don't immediately put it on your face. Dab it on your hand to get the excess off, and then do your under eye and on your face. See how it's already immediately brightening my under eye? And listen, I love a glowy look, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I don't want my whole face to be shiny. So I try to put it in places I know I'm gonna get oily, which is my T-zone and on my chin. Now, if you don't wanna use the pink setting powder all over your face and you only wanna use it on your under eye, then just use like a skin toned powder for the rest of your face. But I'm just using this today. And then I will, just to make sure all the powder is cleaned up and there's no excess on my face, I'll just take a big brush and I'll swipe all over my face just to make sure there's no extra powder sitting on my face. Okay, now I am taking this Bare Minerals blush in this shade You Had Me at Merlot. I love this. I actually bought this. Her supermodel recommended it in one of her TikToks. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm so glad she did because this is the perfect summer shade. Like, yes, it seems intimidating at first because it is very dark, but this is also one of those products where a little goes a long way. So I just started going over where I put the bin tint on my face, and I literally just take the littlest amount and just like dab it on there. It's perfect if you're looking for that sun-kissed blush. Now again, I'm taking it all over my face. You don't have to, but I like to have just, I know I've been saying it a lot, but a little bit of a sun kiss whenever I do my makeup. Now when I first started using this blush, I put a lot on and I was like, oh my gosh, this is way too red. Yeah, that's when I realized, obviously with a shade like this, a little's gonna go a long way. And then if I don't like how red it is or anything, I'll literally just take my fingers and make sure that is all blended in. Okay, I am a little backwards with how I do things, but this is what I like to do best. So as I said earlier, we are moving back. We are coming back to the eyeshadow. So I like to take just a little brush and I am going to take these two shades and blend them together and do just a little bit under my eye. I feel like a lot of people abandon the under eye when it comes to eyeshadow, but it can really make a difference in your eye makeup if you put it under your eye. Okay, now I'm going in with this NYX brow glue. I just got this recently and I love it. This one is tinted in medium brown. I already started doing it a little bit on this eyebrow, but I don't like to have a lot of shape to my eyebrows. And actually, fun fact about me, I haven't waxed or plucked my eyebrows in years. I don't know why, but for some reason, just the hair on my eyebrows doesn't really grow. I would love one day though to laminate my eyebrows. I just never really had the money to do it. So you can shape your eyebrows any way you feel comfortable. I just like to make sure that they're glued in place, and I love that this NYX adds a little bit of tint as well. Okay, now the mascara. Let's get into it. I'm going to curl my lashes just a little bit. And now I'm taking the Tarte Cosmetics 2B mascara in the shade brown because we want a more natural look. And I'm not gonna do a lot of mascara, and I'm pretty much just gonna keep it to the corner of my eyes. If you want more mascara, that is completely up to you, but I just feel like the Strawberry Sunkissed look is a more natural but glowing peachy, not peachy look, but like strawberry look. And then I'll do a little bit on my under eye as well. Okay, mascara is done, and now pretty much the last step, besides a little bit more lips, is I'm going to take some Charlotte Tilbury highlight in the shade Pillow Talk, and I'm just going to highlight a little bit of my face just to add a little bit more shimmer. I just put some on the bridge of my nose, go up the nose, and then just a little bit up here. So when the sun hits it, as you can see right now, she's gonna glow, she's gonna shine. Like, look at that, already glowing. Okay, now at this step, you can either choose to use a clear gloss or a tinted gloss. I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. lip oil in the shade Jam Session and just do a little bit over this lip tint. And there we go, guys. That is the final look. It's not too much, but it gives you just enough glow to give you just that strawberry sun-kissed look, guys. Look at that. Look at that glow. So I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely save this for later and let me know what kind of other videos you guys would love to see. But I love you, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.